Welcome back, fifth graders. This is Mr. James. We are skipping lesson 8 and heading into lesson 9 today, where we begin a new book, which you should have gotten in your envelope, called Explorers of North America. Looking at the cover of this book, you might be able to determine it looks a little bit more like a nonfiction book in comparison to the fictional text that we read before this. You also might see that it says a true book on the top, which should be a dead giveaway that it's also nonfiction. So as we read through this new text today, our enduring understanding is readers understand that texts, not tests, sorry about that, can have multiple themes and main ideas. And our essential question is, how do readers determine the multiple themes and main ideas in texts? So our objective today is I can explain an author's use of reasons and evidence. So when an author is giving reasons, they're going to be need to support those reasons with evidence, just like you do in your opinion writing, that you can't just say something is true because you think it's true. You have to have evidence to support that. That's part of making a good argument or providing good factual information. So we're going to read through chapter 1 together today. As we look into this text, you're going to see that we have a table of contents, and the chapter 1 is Europeans explore the Americas. Who really made it here first? And they've got a little picture of Christopher Columbus there, so we might figure out maybe we were wrong about some other information that we thought we had. Let's go ahead and turn to that first page that we're going to read from, which I believe is going to be page 7. All right. And please follow along in the text.
This painting shows Christopher Columbus leaving Palos, Spain in 1492. Columbus sailed across the Atlantic, hoping to find a trade route to Asia. His 3 ships were called the Niña, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Chapter 1. Europeans explore the Americas. It took Columbus 70 days to cross about 4,000 miles of the Atlantic Ocean. Every October, Americans gather for parades to honor one of the world's most famous explorers. His name is Christopher Columbus. Some people think Columbus was the first European explorer to reach the Americas, but another explorer beat him by about 500 years. The Vikings are here! Leif Erikson was born in Iceland in the year 970. His family later moved to Greenland. There, he heard stories about unexplored lands to the west. Erikson was a Viking. The Vikings were people from northern Europe who were famous for their sailing skills.
There you can see a map of Leif Erikson's route.
Erikson took the safest route he could. He stuck to the coast and then crossed the ocean at its narrowest point. This illustration shows Leif Erikson on his voyage to Canada. He took with him a crew of 34 Viking men. Erikson set sail in search of new lands to explore. He landed on the coast of what is now Canada in about the year 1000. Erikson named the area Vinland. He built a settlement there. The settlement lasted only a few years. Native Americans had long lived in the area. The Vikings may have left after fighting with the Native Americans.
Now, settlement's a bolded word in our text, which means it's normally found in the glossary. And if you look back in the glossary, it says a settlement is a place where a group of people live. All right, and that is where we're going to stop today. We're going to turn this into a reading and writing lesson just because it's such a short amount of reading and vocabulary that we're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going through, and we're going to do our vocabulary questions now and our right and response to reading. So you get things all organized here. Our first word you'll see there, and only word, is the word voyage. And that's found on page 9. It was actually in the caption of the picture on page 9. And a voyage, as you've probably heard before, is a trip, an excursion, or an exploration. If you go on a voyage, you're either going, you might be sailing there, you might be flying there. It doesn't necessarily need to be where you're going to be the first person to explore something, but someone who goes on that trip or excursion or exploration is commonly called a voyager. So my sample sentence says, the captain guided his ship on a voyage to discover the new land. So in your own sentence, the voyage should be the thing that they're doing. They went on a voyage, and they don't necessarily, like I said, to go on a ship, and they don't necessarily have to find new lands, but they are going on some sort of a trip, excursion, or a place that they are exploring. Pause the video and write your own sentence now. And your right and response reading question says to read chapter 1 and review the text features. Now, text features are the things in the text that are outside of the words themselves. So pictures are text features. Captions are text features. Maps are text features. Headings of sections are text features. All of these different parts that are not the actual words of the text, they are the text features. So we see lots of text features in our text. So what you want to talk about in your writing today is which text feature does the best job of supporting the main text. So which thing in there is the best at helping you better understand the content. For example, you might say that the map is the best text feature because it shows us exactly where Erickson went on his voyage. You might argue something else, but make sure you provide examples from the text to support your answer. Don't just say, the best text feature is the map, period. Tell me why, explain, give some more information. That's it for today. Thanks so much for joining me. If you need anything, let me know. Hope you're being safe and have a great rest of your day.